Alright, I'll have to just go with the background noise of the fans blowing because it's too damn hot. Yeah, even in a spaceship it's hot. It's been a while. I haven't put up any videos on YouTube since getting partnered, which is kind of bizarre. Like, for all these, like, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years I've been wanting to like get to that algorithm, like 4,000 hours thing. um like when you actually get it, like it's kind of like the challenge is done, and then I just didn't make any videos for the last like 3 weeks, which is kind of defeats the object of getting kind of partnered, because the benefit is that you get some dollars every month from AdSense. So I don't know, don't ask me. Maybe my mind's been elsewhere. Maybe it's been the weather, because it's been super hot. That's why I'm not turning the fan off. But today I kind of wanted to make a video about how I've kind of changed my outlook with crypto. I've been playing around with crypto and platforms for like 3 or 4 years now, and while I liked Steam and I liked what other platforms were doing, and I also liked what DTube is doing and IPFS in general and all the other decentralized platforms, it kind of gets a little bit kind of stale, bit stale, and I think it's probably been driven home by all the market manipulation and the fact that we're just going like just trundling along. I know we're seeing jumps today of Bitcoin jumping up to 41, and who knows, it might like go off again. I still feel like that's market manipulation. We'll end up seeing it drop down to the 20s, but I could be completely wrong. But it does kind of not make you want to get involved with it. That being said, I have changed the way that I look at crypto, because I don't want to be looking at charts every day. I don't want to be looking at ups and downs. I don't want to necessarily just be super excited when a new update comes along that I don't then go and use. Like, if I'm not actively in the trenches with this stuff on a daily basis in those platforms, then I can't really talk about them. I'm just speculating and I'm just like cheerleading. And what I would rather do is use crypto, use DeFi more than anything. I think out of all of the things that have happened in the last 3 or 4 years, even though it's Ethereum, I feel like DeFi is the most excited one. Decentralized finance, being able to be just an average Joe who can put a little bit of savings money away and have that compounded with some interest. That's kind of where my head's at now. Is like, I want to pick maybe like 5 coins, maybe four or 5 coins, platforms that are going to do something, that are going to release something. Cardano would definitely be one of those. You know, by the end of this year, I'll have smart contracts. I feel like the conversations that Charles has done with his videos and what he's put out, and the relationships that they're making and the partners that they're working with, I feel like it's going to be a really solid project. I think Polkadot is going to be a solid one as well. And there's a whole bunch of other ones that I really like the looks of. Don't necessarily know so much about the platform, just more interested in the high yearly APR interest that I could earn by staking some of their coin. And so you kind of have to have an interest in that platform and know what they're building to see if it has any longevity to it, or if it's just going to be a flash in the pan investment for a year or 2 years and then having to pull it out because, you know, it's not worth anything anymore. There's no point staking in something for 2 years and it's like just over $1 and you're waiting for it to 10x and then you miss the 10x. So it's kind of chicken and egg situation. You can either be following it every day in the trends and the discords and the Twitter and the TikToks and finding out what people are talking about it, or actually seeing what apps they've built in it, or you can put it in something like a staking account, and hopefully when you go back to look at it next time, it's increased. Again, it depends. The project could have died by then, so it's all a little bit of a gamble. There is other centralized things that have been around for a long time that are compounding interest, but I kind of feel like, as somebody who does digital stuff, I should invest in digital projects that I feel like are needed and are, you know, the next step for us as digital citizens, netizens, if you like. It's definitely obvious that centralized platforms are not necessarily going away, but they tend to be targeted a lot more, especially nowadays. Like, it seems to be almost like you know, a good calling card or credibility if you can take out some of this heavy metal by, you know, taking down these big corporations just to stick it to the man. So when it comes to decentralized video and getting your stuff out there and having it on multiple platforms, it makes sense to support decentralized, because you want to play with those kind of tools, right? You want it to have some level of reliability through obscurity almost. Where is it? Where's it hosted? What server? Oh, it's on 1,000 servers spread out across the globe in different shards of information, encrypted. Now, it's a nightmare for a single centralized government body to spend years and manpower looking for that shit and trying to track down and shutting things down. I mean, that's one side of it, but the other side of it is innovation, right? It's like, how do we innovate this technology to be this kind of shared experience, shared value experience? Like, if I have some server space and I have a good internet connection and I have a good job and I can host, I don't know, like a Chia node and 50 gig of hard drive space and have a little machine, a little M1 powered, you know, Mac machine, just like sitting there, Mac Mini, sitting there just crunching through plots to stick as a farm. Like, why wouldn't I pick 4 or 5 things to use as staking instead of just being so invested in these things? So I think for the last month I've been thinking about how I can add value in these things without having to be part of a community, but offer tools and services that allow other people to go and do it. So I've been working on a website for quite a while now, more than a month, for assets for content creators. So like overlays and lower thirds and graphics, and to do with crypto, and also to do with, like, one of them is focused on NFTs for BSV, and the other one is just a selection of cryptos that I've noticed on Twitter get talked about a lot. So I've made a whole like theme pack for that. And the idea behind it is that everybody's got an opinion, but, you know, there's a lot less content creators than there are consumers. And I actually think some of the average Joe consumers could be good creators and add value and bring more people in, rather than just like, there seems to be a very small group, 1 or 2%, of just like fighting all the time about how their blockchain is better than another blockchain. I just don't think the general public give a shit about that. They don't care. They're not going to invest money into drama. They want solid returns, and they want to know that it's secure, and they want to understand it. They don't want to be vilified for their level of intelligence, or, you know, been thrown to the wolves of a chain with the same name but with a different icon. It's like, so yeah, that's what I've been thinking about for the last month or so. Also, the weather's been amazing. Like, you got to enjoy the weather when it's like this. You got to get out there, exercise. Early mornings, like sunrise now at the moment is 4:42 in the morning. It's like, it's light. It's time to get up. Like, let's get up early at 5 a.m. in the morning. Enjoy the nature, the bird song, like sunrise. It's just perfect, man. Like, if you're not getting up early, you're missing out. You'll be pissed later on in life when you can't get out early because you're old and you're cranky. Get outside. Like, it's warm and it's the best. The other thing I quickly want to finish up on today is, not only was I thinking about staking, I've been thinking about legacy as well, and I managed to catch something. I think was it Mozilla or was it Google? I can't remember who it was now. I think it might have been Mozilla. Was it Facebook? Google? One of them has actually started to do stuff with legacy, and mainly from a perspective of, if somebody has passed away and you have their death certificate, you can send it on to these companies and they will kind of unlock access to photos and media and things like that. I think that's a huge area, and could be the killer app for no pun intended, could be the killer app for decentralized video. Right? Imagine aggregating video content, tweets, TikToks, all of the content you've ever made from all of these other different channels. So people put in those channels, and you scrape, crawl, grab all that stuff, and then package it so it's got a nice like front end or whatever. Maybe it can be HTML and all the images are like contained inside of a massive big zip file, and it's just distributed to a group of people. Like when you've passed, and you know, obviously you got a certificate to prove it. Although that's going to be difficult because the people managing that stuff are going to have like some serious technology to make sure that stuff's not going to get like hacked or access to it. But I really love the idea of legacy. I like the idea of leaving stuff behind for the next generation, almost like a treasure hunt, like a live media digital treasure hunt. But I do think decentralized, because nobody seems to have done it. Nobody seems to have got it right how to do legacy storage in centralized platforms. So if we're going to leapfrog and we're going to go to decentralized and have that big education block of educating people the differences and the benefits of decentralized over centralized, we should have a killer app product that goes along with it, I think. And I think that could be legacy. Imagine being able to like have a package for $99 a year, and we crawl all of your favorite social media sites, and we guarantee you that we have everything up to date within like a week. I mean, 24 hours would be nice, but like say like a week. And then if something happens to you, you just send all of that stuff to the list of people that you've said to send it to. I think that'd be so cool. There's so many add-on packages and services you could do with that as well. Like you could pull things out of that content to send to the client, and then the client can send it on social, share it to other people through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever. I just think that's a nice little business model, but also could be a nice little killer app for platforms. So that's where I'm at recently. I've just been thinking about what can I build, what can I play with, what do I enjoy the most, and where can I add value, and you know, make a little bit of money on the side, maybe take a little bit out for savings, staking, and fleshing out some of these ideas. This idea specifically, legacy, has been with me for over a decade. I've been wanting to do it for a decade, and just every time I've looked at it, I end up like going so down a rabbit hole with it in terms of like storage mediums and where would I store it. Like, would I go to Sweden and put it in like Pirate Bay's like bunker thing, or you know, just there's so many little intrinsic cool little bits you can do for legacy in terms of, you know, what is the storage medium going to be in 10 years time? Like, it's not going to be MP3 or MP4, is it? It's going to be something completely different. So how do you take content from today and optimize it and continually grow with it as a business? Like, how do you like continually repackage it for a new world? You know, because I can't imagine in 10 years time when they've got their latest and greatest media player, which is, you know, impacted into their heads or something with some head-up display, the notion of playing an MP3 or not being streamed or accessible or at the end of a voice command would seem crazy and probably wouldn't be used. So you have to almost have a living, breathing business model that moves with the media. And I feel like IPFS and decentralized platforms do that. As new ideas get adopted and adapted and integrated, it just needs a killer app. It just needs, well, a series of killer apps for it to really take off, for people to really invest in this as something that they could have shares in. Legacy could be a big one, because everybody, every mom, every dad, every sister or brother would love to have something like that. Everybody on planet Earth. Anyway, that's where my head's at. It's warm here, really warm. I'm gonna finish my coffee and get back at it. Hope everybody's well. Get outside. It's gorgeous out there.